Hi, Ljubomir.
Hi.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah. No.
Perfect.
How
I
are
can
you?
hear you well. Very good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Fine.
How are things in
Work-
Sweden?
Working around the house.
You're working around the house?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, what else can we do when we're stuck? Well,
Yeah.
we're stuck, not you.
We're actually having a pretty good. We're practicing as well with the team, so it's almost like normal.
Hmm. What, so tell me about actually, I was very curious. So you're having full contact practices or?
No, no, no. Everything except that. So we can do fast break practices. We can do indoor practice, individual technique. So it's pretty much everything, but not with defense attack
Yeah.
against each other.
Well, that's fantastic. That's good
Yeah,
for you and for your guys.
yeah, that's it.
Okay. So um, just quickly, I want to let you know what this is all about.
Yeah,
I'm starting this little Zoom cast called Straight Handball Talk, which is a conversation between two people that know each other, or they were either teammates, competitors, partners, or just maybe dreamers of handball. Ultimately, these people are forever connected to each other thanks to the Olympic sport of handball. And for us, for me, for most of the people in the United States, this is the ultimate reward that we get from this sport, considering it's not a professional sport. So,
uh,
knowing you for so long, for many reasons, I thought you would be a phenomenal guest in this conversation because I'm sure a lot of people know about you, but to me, you are one of the greatest, biggest hard competitor that I've seen, even when I was a kid watching you play, but also working with you in certain projects and ultimately seeing you as a coach. So I'm not going to talk about all the trophies and things that you have received in your career. I mean, I'm just going to mention that you're a three-time Euro champion with Sweden, one-time world champion, one-time silver medalist. You won the Champions League with Flensburg, and the rest I'm not going to mention right now. So what I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious, is how did you get into handball? How did you fall into in love with handball, and who were your role models?
Whew. Um, where should I start? Falling in love with handball. Yeah, I mean, it was cold in Sweden. So we started playing football, soccer, in the summer, and the same team that played soccer went indoors
Mm.
and started building a handball team as well. So the same players that we had in soccer played in handball as well. So we just changed sport in wintertime. And it was pretty good because the the team harmony and the togetherness were great because we were always together. So we had a lot of success with the youth football and handball, and I think it's most um, because of that. So I started the handball uh, just because it was cold, actually.
Wait, but
I like football or soccer. I like soccer very much so, but eventually I mean I could also do good. I was pretty okay in soccer, but I was also okay in handball. So if you have some success with yourself, you get the confidence, then you start liking it as well. So
but
and it was more.
whose idea was it to move the soccer team from outdoor to
That
indoor?
was the
Who?
coach because he liked handball and the youth coach. He liked handball and he was the coach for the soccer team as well. And I said, guys, why don't we try instead of playing soccer indoors? Why don't we try another sport?
Hmm.
So we try handball instead. And he was a good coach in soccer and in handball. So we got the best of the both. So it was his idea.
Well, that's amazing. I think I guess in Europe, we all have that one person that has this idea and hooks you up into it. And then again, you can be good in many sports, but one sport at some point is going to fit your personality a lot more and your dedication. So I guess, is this guy still alive? Do you stay in touch with him?
No, the guy who, no, he isn't alive, unfortunately. But I have a lot of things to thank him about him. I mean, the neighborhood where I grew up wasn't the best one. And we didn't have, I mean, today kids can buy a handball or a football without any problems, almost mostly in Sweden it's like that, but we couldn't. But he had a ball sack, with so many, and we could lend it every time with football and handball. So we were 24/7 on the court. Didn't matter if it was football or handball. And he opened, in winter when we didn't practice, then he opened the playing hall for us, so we could go inside and just be for ourselves.
Yeah.
Can you imagine 3, 4, 5, 6 kids just running inside and playing all the time?
Yeah.
It was a dream.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really, really amazing. So now, when at that part, you fell in love, you continued with your buddies, but then you emulated your game, or you looked at others at that time to become who you became. Who were your role models at that time?
Pooh, it was difficult. I am a pretty small guy, so I mean, I didn't have any small guys to compare with. There were great players, of course, but I couldn't do what they did.
Yeah.
So it was really difficult to have role models like that. I had role models in attitude, and I mean, Michael Jordan. When we're talking about the last, I mean,
Yeah.
he was one of those. But in handball it was difficult. It's a sport for big fellows,
Yeah.
big guys and women, of course.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any role model like that for handball. But the thing was, when I was 17, two coaches opened my eyes for handball, because they started to learn me about time and space, how I can use that on the field, because I'm a small guy, how can I use that?
Yeah.
And when I started to think about it and train like they tried to teach me,
Yeah.
then suddenly my mind opened. It was like, wow, it's a lot of space here now, and I'm not big, but I'm small, and I'm fast, so I can use that space. So it opened a lot of opportunities for me
Yeah.
suddenly. And then I of course fell in love much more than ever in the sport, because once more I got confidence, success, and then it went on.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember those videos. I mean, I forgot the name of that big Russian guy, and which now is sort of a meme online, and the footwork that you did, fake left, a fake right, and then move the ball again. The big 2-meter guy falls down, and it's the privilege and the beauty having that kind of footwork and understanding the physics of a big body. So I always look at that. I'm like, I've tried to emulate it a few times. Didn't work for me that well, but I still love that moment.
But
So,
we really practiced. I practiced that a lot, so it wasn't Hey, I mean, the coaches that they practiced me to go like this, left and right with the ball, with the pivot. So I did, and then in this movement, I did crosses in the center as well.
yeah.
So then it was, yeah, it was. It maybe it seems easy, but it wasn't. It was a
And no,
lot of times practicing.
no, it was not easy. I've been trying it for 10 years, still not working for me. So, so anyways, now you are the coach of the Slovenian national team and also the head coach for the Sweden's coolest handball club, AFK Christianstad.
Yeah.
Obviously, as a coach, we talked a little bit. You haven't stopped working, but how difficult has it been to keep your players motivated and focused on preparing to whenever we're going to open up for whatever competition is coming up soon, in whatever form is coming up?
The first, I mean, it was really abrupt. I mean, the end was like this, and we were preparing for the playoffs all season.
Yeah.
You know, so in Sweden it's playoffs. Um, so it was difficult because the guys, you know, in turn we only talked about that.
Mm.
So almost for 8 months we only talked about the end, how we're going to play and how what we're going to do. So it was hard, and it took some time, at least 2 weeks before the players. I mean, it's also you can't compare a 30-year-old and an 18-year-old. You know, they have different things of thinking it. But for most of the guys, it was difficult for 2 weeks.
Mm.
But after that, we started, I mean, to talk open about the situation. So should we just dig a hole and, I mean, it doesn't help us, no?
Yeah.
So we talked open about it and started to, okay, we take this opportunity to be faster, to be stronger, to be better in everything individually, first of all. That every player gets his um, ego a little bit um, better, you know. And everybody said, "Okay, let's go." You know.
Yeah.
So it was. It took some time, but then afterwards, look now. We counted today. We trained 7 weeks now with powerlifting
Oh, wow.
and running sessions, and every player has increased incredibly in these 7 weeks. Normally, of course, because you have that much
Yeah.
time, so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's a normal process. But still, you never had this opportunity, you know. And the guys who were injured, I mean, or had some not maybe a big injury, but still some injuries.
Yeah.
Um, they're they're training now without any pain, you know. That's also a positive thing. So I'm a pretty positive guy, so I try to find always positive uh, ways to look at it, you know.
Now you just need the gates to be open and unleash them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then the gladiators come out.
Yeah. So how are you dealing with the Slovenian national team? Because you also had that qualification coming up, and I think what you guys did sort of, I mean, you took this job just recently and pretty quickly meshed together, and you have an opportunity. So that is sort of gone, the enthusiasm, and usually in national teams, it's very important. So how are you going to turn that thing around when the qualifications happen?
It was the same thing, you know. Everybody was looking forward for the Olympic qualification and maybe the Olympic Games and everything. So it was also a hard decision. And the World Championship qualifications, I mean, for the Egypt, it's also gone, you know. But
Yeah.
still, we are in Egypt now, so it's, I don't know how fair that is, but still. Um, I wrote a letter. We have contact over the social media,
Yeah.
Instagram mostly. So we have contacts, and they are also, you know, they are also having how should I say, a good feeling in what we did in
Yeah.
the European Championship. You know, in such short time, we did some pretty good work, and they really wanted to take the next step,
Yeah.
and they are still there. You know, so I like this enthusiasm, what they have and what they show. That they really want the World Championship, they really want the Olympic Games, they really want something, and that's as a coach, that's important to have in a team. Not to force something. uh, it's much better as a coach if you have players who who has their own will to do something,
Yeah.
and they have. So I didn't. I'm going to go over there soon,
Yeah.
and meet them again, the guys, and talk about the future. So it's
Yeah.
it's going ahead there as well.
It was fun actually watching you guys play in your European Championships. And again, it's sort of I was watching it and knowing your previous stint with Flensburg, it just felt like that kind of group of guys who are that bond togetherness. And it doesn't matter. You don't have maybe. I mean, all of them are stars to me, but they're not one particular or two guys that you certain teams have. I mean, you have a full complete set of teammates who are going to die for each other on the court, and they are more ambitious than others who have the star. So it was really, really fun watching you guys. And it's tough that you couldn't go further, but it was incredible to watch you play. Now,
Ah, thank you. But
um,
we are as having a great atmosphere in the team, and that's the key for many things.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Which
so
brings me to the next conversation. It was different, even though I don't know any detail, just what I heard or read a little bit. But the time spent in Hungary with Veszprém and coaching the Serbian national team, I know you, and you don't settle on mediocrity, and you don't settle on things not being done the right way you see them, which is positively in my view. What really happened? I mean, I know both Veszprém has a long history tradition of doing things their way, and of course, Serbian national team has national pride, no matter how you look at it. What happened, truly?
truly, truly, it's difficult. I have a way to play and I have a way to be as a person. I don't like to change myself for all player games, um, especially not politics
Yeah.
games, because it's sports for me. I love the game. I love the handball, and uh, if you look at it afterwards, I mean, maybe I was a little bit naive. If you look
Mm.
at the history of the coaches there, what they had and how they, uh, I really thought that I could, with my positive attitude, that I could bring something to them as well, um, and some speed to the team. But if we compare them with the team harmony and the team effort, I didn't succeed in that matter. I didn't get the team to go in the same to the same way, in the same path to some things, and maybe that's my fault. But there are, in my, of course, view, other big reasons that why it didn't work out. And I am not the guy also personally that want to uh, say something about anybody else, but it was a lesson, and it was a hard lesson as well, I have to admit. But I mean, still, I'm a positive guy. I learned that, and I won't do the same
Yeah.
mistakes. But I won't change as a person.
Yeah. No,
You
you
know,
will not. You
I
can't
am who
change.
I am.
Yeah. But honestly, I remember when I read it that you took the job of Serbia national team and then Veszprém, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? And then I realized that I was like, okay, well, because big reason is you wanted to be next to your family, and I thought it was smart and practical. I'm like, okay, he has thought all
It
these through.
was. It was. I met my mother and father so much more.
Yeah,
So that was a positive
yeah,
thing.
yeah. So I thought about it. It's like, okay, great. But knowing how that national team is right now, or has been in a while, I was like, oh, this is going to be very, very difficult. And Veszprém, with the history that they have, tradition that they have, even though I think the way you started, things were so close. Every game was just so close. It was like I was waiting for a breakthrough every single time, and it was so close. and games were fine. The style was there, but it just never crossed that little step over. I'm like, and then of course certain things started brewing, but interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we won actually almost every game until December, you
Yeah.
know. So and then we had the January with tournaments, and then they came back. So I mean, I think I could have done a good job with the right uh, people around. I think so, but it's also like it has to be. No,
Yeah.
it had to be, and right now I really I'm not regretting anything.
Yeah.
So I really like that I know how some people work and how it works in some countries,
Yeah.
and um, and you learn a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a much better coach today than I was in Flensburg, for example.
Yeah.
In a way, it all works out at the end.
Yeah. That's true. So, sorry. Let's talk a little bit about handball in the United States. So your compatriot Robert Hedin is a coach of Team USA. I think he has brought some needed simplicity, discipline with the kind of players he has. However, real success, like winning a Pan American Championship or winning games in the World Championship, which they have wild cards for 2025, 2027, it's a far-fetched goal. I'm going to ask you, what do you think realistically are chances of Team USA bringing top athletes from other sports? They don't have to be LeBron James style, but top athletes who played another sport, move to handball now, and they prepared 7 years or 4 or 5 years for those competitions. What are their chances of actually becoming players that could play against Sweden? And actually, not just playing, actually
seven
having a
years
chance. Yeah,
7 years.
yeah.
Give me 7 years. That's much, you know. You don't. That's a lot of time.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah, that's really good. 7 years. I mean, 4 years is enough. But 7 years. I think you can do a lot of great things in 7 years. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm once more a positive guy. The thing is, you have to have the structure around an organization around that really knows step by step. I mean, 7 years, yes, but you have to really know when and what you're doing at the right time.
Hmm.
And with that progress, um, and working this progression, I mean, it's possible. Of course it is. um, and then you have to also, of course, have, for example, if I were there, I'm just talking hypothetically,
Yeah,
I would go out on a basketball court and or track and field, I don't know, it doesn't matter, where I wrestlers also.
yeah,
So I would go over there and look for talents in moving, because I am
yeah,
a guy who develop young players depending how they move.
yeah.
You know what kind of movement they are. I mean, if I see that they have a movement that you can transmission to handball, then I would, hey guy,
Yeah.
come over here, man. I have something for you. And I
How
would I
old,
would really.
how old do they have to be?
It depends how good they are in what they're doing. If
Okay.
you see that they have I mean, in basketball, you can
Yeah.
pretty much easily see who has the movement or not. But 7 years, I mean, I would between 18 and 20.
Okay.
I don't think you need to be younger
Okay.
in this, because still I need to see that they are almost um, done with their growing.
Yeah.
But starting with, I mean, I know that United States needs also youth handball and so on. But if we're talking about the Olympic Games
Yeah.
and so on, it's it's too late. You can't wait for a 14-year-old or 13-year-old to be 20. He won't be able to play against Sweden.
Yeah.
So starting a little bit higher in the age, 17, 18, 19, I think that's the way you have to do.
Hmm.
And
So Zion Williams, like the Pelicans guy,
yeah,
he would have been a perfect example of how to be a great handball player if he didn't choose NBA. Who would choose NBA before handball? I don't get it.
not me.
Yeah. uh, but anyways, okay, that's good to know. I mean, I think there are so many theories behind here, whether that's an appropriate direction to go to, which they've tried in the past. But I guess the biggest challenge is getting that right talent that you're looking for to give up on whatever he's good at or she's good at to compete for the idea of playing the Olympics in 2028 without actually a reward or without getting paid. Just like, hey, you're good, I'm going to make you an Olympian in 7 years, join us. And then financially it's like, okay, but I'm at least maybe have a chance to make money in here. So to me, that's a barrier that somehow, if that gap is closed, where you choose 50 of these super athletes moving from one sport, someone needs to reward them for their commitment, a long-term commitment, whatever that is.
I don't think. Don't you have a crazy guy who has a lot of money who want to invest in handball?
Look, I think there are a lot of rich people in this country, and I think they have not seen it yet as an opportunity of a business or something that could be great. I mean, people invest in all kind of sports here. I mean, there's a hot dog competition, eating competition that's bigger than world championship in handball. I mean, there's so many crazy things that happen that you think about it, like, why wouldn't somebody just do this in a larger scale?
But
So
who is? I don't really. I'm not so involved in that, so I don't know really. But I'm asking who is. Staffan Olsson is also there, isn't he?
So last time I spoke to him, yes, he was initially hired, I believe, as a high performance a manager, which I believe the description of the job is to identify these kind of talents and hopefully plant them into maybe Europe or certain places. I think that was the initial goal. I don't know how is that going right now.
Okay.
I'm hoping to speak to him soon as well and find out exactly that. But yes, I think the ideal position for him was that. And when he came to US, he came to one of our tournaments, and he was doing this, like recruiting and watching the players. And I mean, I could see it from his face. It's like, oh, like he didn't say it obvious, but it's like, oh, this is it. But and it's like you look at that part, because right now, I mean, the talent pool is small, and most of the people who play handball, at least have understanding, are foreigners. So there's so many layers need to be done quickly.
Oh,
Good.
but still, I mean, I don't. I mean, there are the Yugos.
Yeah.
You have them all over the world.
Yeah.
If it's that difficult, then you also have this kind of people, the Swedes that are living there, the other country, but then go that way, because if you have, I mean, it's not the right way, but if you have that opportunity for 7 years to do something for them, I would do everything for that.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad you say that, because different theories, but different attitudes on how to do it. And I know when people believe that they can do it and they do it themselves, it's possible. Anything is possible.
It is. The only thing is you need to work.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So one more thing, I'm aware that the Team USA goalkeeper Renee Ingram is
Yeah.
your goalkeeper, and I just checked on your website that he had a 43% saving. I don't know how many games did he play, but sounded really, really good. So
He played one game.
really,
Yeah, so I put in. It was really great. I mean, we were leading with some goals, and our second goalkeeper, he was injured, so I took him along.
yeah,
He's in the second team. So, and when it was about 50 minutes left for the game, I put him And he did great. I mean, he saved a lot of balls.
Yeah, that's good. He's young, and he's an opportunity to be in a cool team. I think now I get why you guys say the Sweden's coolest team, because he played one game, 43%. Okay, he's our star. Very smart, actually. I need to do that. Um, so, how do you see him grow, and how do you see his future? Because he's going to be the future goalkeeper for a long time of Team USA. How do you
I
see him
mean,
progress?
yeah, but he is progressing, and the thing is, once more, it's a hard work that needs to be done to be at the level what the talk about the first and second goalkeeper. Now he has to work hard for one more year. Now let's see what happens. He has to have individual practice with goalkeepers,
Yeah,
so he learns the technique, so he can read the game.
yeah,
um, and it's a progress. He has to do these things all over again, and probably he will get one more chance with us if he's processing. I don't know.
yeah.
That we will see. But right now he's in Germany and couldn't train with us.
Hmm.
So it was unfortunately that he couldn't do that, because it would be good for him.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, there's no better way for any young athlete to be a part of a team that has a coach who has done this in the past and is motivating and positive. This is what they need right now. So I think he's got a great opportunity to really do great things over there. And I'm glad you re-signed them, because you don't get these chances very often in the professional world of handball.
Yeah.
So jumping into our Big Apple tournament. You were
Hey.
one of the masterminds of this event, which we organized for 5 years in a row, starting from a little tiny gym, a short court. I mean, what is that song? Starting from the bottom, now I'm here. Um, you were the person who brought together with Carl the greatest handballers in the planet, in the greatest city in the world. We were doing really something great at that time. I mean, this was 10 years ago. And I mean, I enjoyed it so much, even though it was hard work at the same time. But to me, was a way we brought this elevation of idea. Hey, this is a place things need to happen. Now, IHF and EHF are showing more interest of doing this, but I get so upset that at that time we didn't get that little push to keep it alive, even up to this day. Because I remember the last one, it was full, and with having Eurosport broadcasting around the world, it was phenomenal. I mean, what do you
Yeah.
remember about those days the most?
Well, I remember a lot of fun, of course. The greatest city in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I think it was amazing thing what Carl and other people around did. And I mean, it wasn't difficult to um convince the players to come over and to do things for the sake of handball, of course. Um and everybody was really positive.
Yeah.
And what we did in a very short time, I think it was a great thing, from zero to really big thing. Um, and I would really like to do it once more,
Yeah.
a couple of years. I
Well,
would really like to do it and do something bigger than we did the last times.
yeah. Well, that's why I feel like we have unfinished business, because,
Yeah,
like,
right.
yeah, I feel like when I
With
watched
me?
yes, with you, and I remember, I mean, when I would just watch last Sunday, The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, and then I had no idea that actually after winning his sixth title, he actually had interest of doing it again, but the ownership decided to obviously take that away.
Yeah.
That's why he retired. I feel like the same way with us. The fifth one was the best one. It was the most fun, full gym. Everything was perfect. And we got the most press and we had all the great players. And then we stopped. And it's
Mm.
like, I don't care. Like, yeah, people say stop at the top, but no, I just didn't feel right. So we have unfinished business, I
Yeah,
believe.
we do. We will
Yeah.
try to arrange something.
Yeah, we will do it, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so some trivial question, because I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you're busy. So if you had to pick the GOAT, the greatest of all times in handball, who would you pick as your choice and why?
Oh, it's it's not easy, but it's pretty easy for me because I mean, I would choose the Magnus Wieslander.
Hmm.
I mean, you can't almost can't compare anybody defense, fast break, attack, starting as a playmaker, finishing as a pivot,
Hmm.
and doing it for so many years back and forth. You have great players in attack or great players in defense, but the complete player, um, I don't see many players in his for so many years as
Yeah,
well
yeah.
in his category. I can't, and he is really also down to earth uh, and has a positive attitude. He is a nice guy, you know. A little bit too much with the referees, but but when you play against him, but still, he would be today as well my first choice.
I remember that one of the games, Big Apple, when he played, and he was pivot, and I was next to him guarding him, and I learned this trick from him, I believe. Um, like, so nothing was happening right on our side. I think you were in the middle back doing something there. All of a sudden, he decided to just grab my shirt and hold me there when I tried to move. And and you turned this way completely, so I was gone just because he held my shirt for 2 seconds. And I got confused trying to move his hand, and then you went over the side, passed the ball. I was like, ah, you just got to think 3 seconds before anything happens on your side. So it was a good lesson.
It's I think he has some good stuff
Yeah.
to learn out.
So who was or is your favorite coach of all times in handball?
Oh, that's because a coach is, one coach doesn't have everything. They're still there.
Yeah, no, not
Yeah.
not the best. I'm not saying the best, but your favorite. Let's say someone that you say, okay, well, I like a lot. Think I know I should not ask this question to you because you're the coach, but nevertheless, someone who inspired you the most as a coach.
The guys who inspired me most as the coach was the first coaches when I started to play senior handball. The guys who learned me about the time, space, and these things.
Mm,
I learned a lot of handball from them. So they were always, as I mean, my basic from my handball is from them, and that they got it also from Sweden, of course, but also from old Yugoslavian handball.
yeah,
So it's like a mixture. Um, so that they inspired me uh, to be a coach. Um, when it comes to handball, the other guy who inspired me as well is Kent-Harry Andersson and Bengt Johansson,
okay,
the Swedish national team coach, and Kent-Harry Andersson, who I had in Flensburg and in Nordhorn. But Bengt Johansson, he inspired me more the leader thing,
yeah,
how you put a team together, how you are as a leader, how you talk to the players, how you have understanding. I mean, management by fear wasn't his thing,
yeah.
and it's not my thing either. Of course, you can um, have that way if you want to. I'm not judging, but it's not the way I want to be coach, and he inspired me in that way.
Good. The toughest opponent as a club in the career. Which one was your toughest opponent?
As a player,
No, as a club, as a whole. You when you coached or played, which one was the team that you hated to play against the most because they were the toughest ones?
oh, I didn't hate to play against nobody.
I know you
that,
don't.
that's the
You
uh,
probably got more excited to play against them.
yeah. But as a coach, I really think we won against everybody in the world. I didn't have any tough or as a coach, but you always have the best teams in the world, you know. That's also, I mean, I hate it's you're excited, you want to play against them.
Yeah.
But Barcelona, you have THW Kiel, of course, um, Kielce, Veszprem. I mean, you have a lot PSG in the last years. Um, but as I mean, if they're tough to meet, I mean, then it's also fun.
Yeah.
I see it like that, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, we won against PSG with 9 goals one time. Barcelona, we won against Veszprem. So we won against everybody.
Yeah.
But it's also always tough to play against these teams.
Yeah. I mean, your Flansburgh, when you were coaching Flansburgh, managing Flansburgh, there was that, again, progression year after year, just got better and better. And then the last year was incredible. Um, so would you ever consider going back to Flansburgh? Ever?
Uh, you should never say never, but right now I'm really satisfied in Sweden. You know, I'm my kids never lived in Sweden. I was 20 years abroad. I really wanted back to Sweden. I had some
Mm.
offers in different countries, but right now I have 2 more years
Okay.
here, and I will continue to be the coach in IFK Kristianstad these 2 years, and then we will see what will happen. And then I have the Slovenian national team
Yeah.
that I really enjoyed coaching, and I think they have a great future. So I have a contract actually to 2024
Mm.
there. So I'm going to continue this way. I've done a lot of work the last 8-9 years as a coach, and I experienced a lot, and I had some success, but also some failures, you know.
Yeah.
And it belongs.
Yeah.
So, but right now, I want to have success with IFK Kristianstad next season.
Well, that's good. And then after that, after 2024, you might consider coming and coaching in USA.
Yeah, I'm gonna come over and
You
put
never
some.
know. You never know. You
You
never
never
know.
know.
Yeah.
No, you
Okay.
never know. That would be maybe a great challenge. I like challenges, you
Yeah,
know.
I know you
So
do.
it would maybe be a great challenge.
Well, Ljubo, I really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy day. Really, really thank you so much. It was good chatting back with you again, and hopefully we'll get back to our unfinished business sooner than later. If you have anything else to say or add, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time.
It was my pleasure. Have a nice day,
Thank you,
everybody.
Ljubo. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.